and I'm giving you 17 toxic foods in your refrigerator that secretly raise your blood sugar. Now, yes, among other complications, we know that high blood sugar levels can lead to diabetes. Millions of Americans have diabetes, yet 1 in 4 don't even know that they have it. And let's talk about prediabetes. 1 in 3 people in the United States have prediabetes, and largely it's because of eating foods that raise your blood sugar. Now, according to the American Diabetes Association, we should be taking in less than 10% of our calories in foods that are high in sugar. But you already know we do much worse than that. It's an issue. And the foods that we eat that really have a high glycemic index are ones that cause a big problem. Now, when I say glycemic index, I'm talking about a measure of how quickly your body absorbs food that raises your blood sugar level. And the measure is from 0 to 100. 0 is a nice low glycemic index, and 100 is the highest, meaning that it's a food that you eat and boom, the blood sugar really raises quickly. And we're talking about the really simple sugars and the high fructose corn syrups, things like that have a super high glycemic index. We'll talk about that. So now, with no further ado, let's get started. Let's talk about some of these foods that can secretly be raising your blood sugar, and they're sitting there right there in your refrigerator. Number 1, fruit juices and sodas. Yes, they can really raise your blood sugar. So I mentioned that the American Diabetes Association recommends that we take in less than 10% of our calories in sugar. So if you have like a 2,000 calorie diet, you should have no more than 200 of those calories in sugar. And the American Heart Association is actually a little stricter. They recommend that if you are a man, you have no more than 36 grams of sugar in a day. And if you are a woman, no more than 25 grams of sugar in a day. So let's talk about a 10-ounce glass of fruit juice. That has 25 grams of sugar. So if you're a woman, you've already gone up to your limit in just 1 10-ounce glass of fruit juice, and you probably normally will drink more than that. And then sodas, that's no surprise. 1 12-ounce can of a soda has 32 grams of sugar. Number 2, flavored milk. Now, it's one thing to have the natural sugars that come in milk. And of course, if you want to choose a healthier milk, then something that's non-dairy, like an unsweetened almond milk, will be great. But when it comes to flavored milk, please don't be fooled when you're giving that to yourself or to your kids. Don't think that it's healthy, because if you're adding chocolate syrup or strawberry syrup to your milk, that can really raise your blood sugar. In fact, 1 tablespoon of chocolate syrup that you might put in your milk has 9 grams of sugar. And if you have kids with a sweet tooth, they might want more than that. Number 3, jams and jellies. A lot of us, when we're eating our breakfasts, even if we think we're being healthy, we'll get our multigrain bread and we'll put jam on it, or we'll put some grape jelly on it. Well, be careful, because that can raise your blood sugar. Just 1 tablespoon of jam has 10 grams of sugar. Number 4, energy drinks and sports drinks can really spike your blood sugar quickly. And of course, if you're an athlete and you're exercising, you're losing electrolytes, when you drink that sports drink, you're trying to be healthy. But just 1 20-ounce sports drink can have 32 grams of sugar. Number 5, sweet tea. Now, if you are in the South, sweet tea is really probably one of your staples. Now, I'm not talking about natural teas or teas where you're not adding sugar. I'm talking about sweet, good old sweet, sugary, syrupy tea. If you run by one of these fast food restaurants and you order yourself a medium sweet tea, it has 30 grams of sugar. Now imagine if you're at the cookout and you're sitting there and you're just drinking tea all day. You're outside, it's hot, and you're drinking multiple cups of that tea. Well, that's 30 grams after 30 grams after 30 grams, and you are raising your blood sugar. Number 6, condiments. Yeah, condiments like ketchup. Typically, when you think about your condiments like ketchup, honey mustard, barbecue sauce, sweet chili sauce, some of your dressings, you're not thinking about sugar. But please read the labels, because they are loaded with added sugars. 1 tablespoon of barbecue sauce might have 7.5 grams of sugar. And you know you use more than 1 tablespoon at the barbecue. And how about ketchup? Who doesn't load their French fries up with ketchup, or their burgers? 1 tablespoon of ketchup has 12 grams of sugar. You get my drift? So please, when you're putting these condiments on, be cognizant. Look in that refrigerator. This can be raising your blood sugar. Number 7, fruit yogurt. Now, certain plain yogurts, Greek yogurts, definitely can have some health benefits. They can have probiotics. They're definitely low in sodium. But some of these fruity, sugary yogurts can be high in added sugar. So just make sure you're watching the label on the yogurt that you eat. Just 1 container of a popular brand of strawberry yogurt, 1 little small container, can have 16 grams of added sugar. Question: can you name a food right now that's in your refrigerator that you think might be secretly raising your blood sugar? Number 8, flavored water. Now, flavored water can be tricky, because there are a lot of flavored waters that have 0 sugar added or 0 calorie sweeteners. But some flavored waters, and some of these like frizzy, sparkly flavored waters, can have even more added sugar than some sodas. So again, read your labels, because some flavored waters in your refrigerator may be secretly raising your blood sugar. Number 9, frozen pizza and frozen meals. Now, this one might surprise a lot of people, because many folks think that if something is not sweet, then it doesn't have a lot of sugar. But pizza is a very savory, right? Savory and sometimes salty dish, but it can be loaded with added sugar. Let's just take 1 slice of pizza, for example. 1 average slice of pizza can have 13 grams of sugar. Yeah, 7 in the crust and 6 in the sauce. It's not just that bready, starchy crust, but the tomato sauce can be loaded with sugar as well. That's 1 slice of pizza. But how many do you eat? 2 slices? 3 slices? Multiply it out. Number 10, leftovers like pasta, rice, mashed potatoes. Again, these are savory foods that can be loaded with added sugar. So if these are in your fridge, be careful. Number 11, processed meats. Please read the labels on these different processed meats you may be eating. Salami, turkey, ham. Many of them have added sugars and can raise your blood sugar. Number 12, flavored coffee creamers. Now, see, this is a real secret, okay? It's real tricky because we know that coffee tends to have like 0 calories. And so a lot of people will sit here and drink all of their large, tubs of gourmet coffee all day, thinking they're just being so healthy, at least as far as blood sugar levels are concerned. But it's those coffee creamers, those sweet coffee creamers that can really get you. If you think about just like one little tub of coffee creamer, like the little 11 milliliter coffee creamers, like a French vanilla one, it has 3 grams of sugar. And if you add 2 creamers, 3 creamers, 4 creamers, multiply that out, you might be having 12 grams just from the creamer. So be careful. If you've got those little coffee creamers, those sweet coffee creamers in your fridge, they can be secretly raising your blood sugar. Number 13, frosting. Okay, that's no big secret. The frosting on a cake, the icing on a cookie, that may be raising your blood sugar. You want to look for low calorie or no calorie alternatives. Number 14, ice cream. Oh, ice cream. Who doesn't love ice cream? Well, ice cream doesn't love you because it is loaded down with sugar. So just think about 1 cup of a butter pecan ice cream. 1 little cup. It has 32 grams of sugar. Now, if you know good and well, you run to the grocery store and you get a pint of ice cream and you sit there and eat it while you're watching TV, well, that pint of butter pecan ice cream has 64 grams of sugar. And I already told you, if you are a grown man, you should have no more than 36 grams in a day. So ice cream can definitely be raising your blood sugar levels. Number 15, cookies and biscuits. Yes, 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 they can raise your blood sugar level. And let's talk about the glycemic index, okay? Now, we already talked about what it is, right? It's that measure of how quickly your body absorbs the food and raises your blood sugar. The higher the glycemic index, the worse. Well, 1 chocolate chip cookie has a glycemic index of up to 75. And remember, the measure is between 0 and 100, so that's pretty high. And 1 biscuit has a glycemic index of up to 72. Again, these are high glycemic index foods. They can be toxic and raise your blood sugar levels. Number 16, fruit smoothies. Don't get mad at me. I know that a lot of you think you're really doing something when you get your fruit smoothies. Oh, I'm eating smoothies. I'm dieting. I'm eating smoothies. But you have to be careful. You have to be careful. If you're adding fruit juice, okay, like that 10 ounces of fruit juice that's loaded with sugar, that could be raising your blood sugar. If you're adding certain frozen fruits or fruits with a high glycemic index, that could be raising your blood sugar levels. So you still need to do the research. You still need to look. If you're adding a milk and you're adding a flavored milk, that could be raising your blood sugar. Or if you're just adding outright other sweeteners, make sure you pay attention, read the labels. And especially if you're doing like a pre-mixed or a pre-processed fruit smoothie, pay attention. All of these things can be high in sugar. Number 17, beer. Yeah, I said it. Beer. I know you didn't think you were going to get out of here without me mentioning alcohol. Okay, so yes, there are some beers that are low carb and maybe some that don't have any sugar, but you need to read the label because 1 12-ounce of beer can have 10 grams of sugar. And many of you on a Friday night will have more than a 12-ounce of beer. So just be careful. If you have beer in your fridge, that could be one of these foods that's raising your blood sugar. So these are just 17 of the foods in your fridge that could be raising your blood sugar level. By no means is this list exhaustive. Okay, there's more foods than that. Question. How many of these foods surprised you that they could be raising your blood sugar levels? Comment down below. Please let me know. Remember, maintaining healthy blood sugar levels for adults and children can only promote a better health. It'll help you to prevent weight gain, help you to prevent being a person living with obesity, help you to prevent heart disease, help you to prevent diabetes, help you to prevent depression in some cases. So it is really important that you are label watchers and that you watch these foods that could be raising your blood sugar, both the sweet foods and those savory foods that might surprise you. If you found this video to be helpful and informative, please be sure to like it and to share it with the people you care about.